Hi and welcome back to my second episode of my playthrough of Sire, Legends of a Drift System. Just came back from Essen with a whole trunk full of pretty cool new games, but still I want to finish my playthrough here because I'm still a big fan of Sire, independent of what I've got myself in Essen. There was a very good discussion on Board Game Geek about the special ability from the Easy Tiger, the Tag X, when or when not to use this die roll here or to re-roll any die, and I think this was based on my little mistake where I forgot that the Tiger was able to re-roll when he entered into the debris field here, and I think even the second roll was basically wrong, but then the next turn he more or less got into the same situation down south somewhere. And the discussion was if it would be allowed to use the special ability for the debris field, because the rules said the ship is immediately destroyed, and somewhere else in the rules it's also noted that you cannot use any abilities to prohibit that. But I reached out to Cody, the designer of this game, and he said yes, you can use this reroll basically because this would happen before you would actually see the result of what happens to you in the debris field. So you would ignore this table here and you would re-roll again, and then you would have a look into this little table here and then decide upon that. But still, it was a very cool discussion and very productive discussion, and I'm really thankful for that. So I think we can move on with our little playthrough here. Currently the green player is in the lead with 2 fame points. I said one he got from an exploration token and the second because he jumped through Tiger's Gate. So I think that's definitely something that he can be pretty proud of, but that's definitely not meaning he will win the game, though there are still 6 more points to gain for him. So as I decided to play until 8 fame points, so when the first player becomes the noteworthy Rocketeer, this player would immediately win the game. Again, we will start with the blue player. And the blue player, being kind of a merchant guy, wants to bring his shipment from Doravin 5 to Lunari here. So he's completely loaded with these green Terra cubes this point in time, and when he manages to get there and sell all his cargo and has at least, or sold at least 2 of those cubes, then he would immediately gain 1 fame point for that. So I think this is definitely a good way to end up for him. So when we check his ship, we see he is fully loaded in respect to energy. He would still have 2 more cubes, or room for 2 more cubes left, but unfortunately didn't have any more credits, but I think that's definitely not a bad thing. And he's also in possession of all armed markers at this point in time. So I think he can use his drive at least 3 times. So right now he's still using the M22 engine for $1,000, and I think this should at least bring him very close to Lunari 4. I think he might not be able to make it. So, he still has his impulse drive with 3 points. So let's see. We will just do his first activation, and then we will roll the die twice according to my house rule. It's a 1, that's a 3, so 3 it is. So that's 1, 2 and 3. I will activate the drive one more time, so let's roll the die again. That's a 3, that's a 4, that's a little bit better. 1, 2, 3 and 4. And let's activate his drive one last time. That's a 1, that's not so good, and it's another 4. So we have to move through the asteroid field now, so we will try, or we will definitely move in here. Now we have to stop for a moment and see what happens to the poor little swamp rat. Let's roll for damage and hope for an 11 or more for him. That's a 15, awesome, so he doesn't take any damage, and we still have 3 more movement points left. And remember, we can move through spaces with another player or non-player characters. In this case this is the merchant, but we are not allowed to end our movement on the same space. So that's 1, 2 and 3. I think this doesn't matter. You can move those gates without activating them. That's definitely not a problem. Okay, as his last action, I guess we will activate the impulse drive, and we 1, 2, 3 keep on moving. Okay, that's basically the turn of the blue player. So there's no business phase, as he just not made it to the planet in this round, which is really a pity. So we come to the status phase, so we can activate the impulse drive. And I'm really thinking, yeah, let's do that. What the heck? And then we will activate 1, 2, 3 systems or of these disarm markers, so we would lose 1, 2, 3 energy for that. And then we come to the Easy Tiger. And the Easy Tiger is pretty close to the Merchant here, but he's also close to the Swamp Rat. The Swamp Rat has still 2 defenses left, but I think he could really harm the player. But on the other hand, if he rolls really good on his blasters here, and the Merchant rolls really poor, it might be able for him to destroy him pretty soon. And we don't need to use any engines here because our impulse drive would move us adjacent to the Merchant. And right now he's definitely reachable and line of sight would be also given. So yeah, let's do that. So we will activate the impulse drive for the Easy Tiger. And then we will move just 1, 2 spaces. Now we are adjacent to the Merchant here, and this is basically one of the requirements in order to use your blasters or any weapons here. So you have to be in line of sight, and adjacent you need to be when you're using your blasters, as they only have a reach of 1 space. The Merchant defends with a D8 shield, and he needs 15 damage markers in order to be destroyed. When you kill the Merchant, you gain 1 fame point, which is always a good thing. You get a bounty of 1000, and you would be able to collect any credits on this card. Right now he didn't make it to any planet yet, but still, he's so close, and I think we just want to take the fame point here, or at least try to take the fame point. Maybe we will just try to damage the Merchant, then let him go to Doravin 4, maybe gain 1000 bucks, and then we would give him the rest, because all the other players currently don't have any blasters or weapons whatsoever. I think it might be a good fit for the Easy Tiger now. The Easy Tiger can now decide how many blasters he wants to use at the same time. We could activate all 4 blaster systems, so we would be allowed to roll 4d6s, and then the Merchant player would only roll 1d8 shield. So I think this could be definitely a good fit. So we might be able to take him out. So if we roll 4 6s and the Merchant rolls really poor, we might really take him out. And I really want to see that happening, to be honest. So let's do that. So we will activate all 4 blasters now. And so we would roll 4 d6s. And I really should have brought more d6s, to be honest, but I forgot it again. So I will roll this one 4 times again. So let's just do the math here. So that's 3, that's 7, that's 11, and that's 14. Okay, now the Merchant player will roll a d8 for defense. So we have 14 minus 3. That's 11 damage points. That's not so good, to be honest. I was really hoping for either destroying it or not, because the Merchant will now move through the asteroid field, and when it gets destroyed, maybe it was not really wise to use all the blaster systems at the same time. Okay, I guess I was too ambitious, but still, we will put 11 damage crystals on the Merchant card, and even those components are so cool. I cannot really get enough, and really have to mention it all over again what nice production quality Saya actually has. Let's do the status phase. So you put those down, and I think I will just rearm 2 of those, so that costs us 1, 2 energy, and that's basically the turn of the Easy Tiger. I think the Ghost Stalker will do some more exploration, and really hoping for some more exploration tokens. And I think I was more or less aimed for that anyhow. And we still have this shuttle mission, so we want to find Azure anyhow. Okay, so let's activate our impulse drive and move 1, 2 spaces here. Then we will take a scan action, which costs us 1 energy. And so we will scan for a new sector. And here we have the keep. So where is the right symbol? There it is. And another debris field. And we have another exploration token here. Not really what I was hoping for, but I think I will try to get those, or this token here. So I will activate the engine, then I will roll a 4 or a 4. 4 it is, I guess. So that's 1, 2, 3. And then we would roll for our destruction, and we don't hope for a 1, 2, 3 here. This is an A team, so we are fine. We are allowed to take this exploration token. That's 1,000 credits, not absolutely bad. So he has a little bounty on him and 2,000 credits in cash. And he still had 1 movement point left. I think I will activate the engine one more time. So again, place it here. Then you would roll the movement die. That's a 6. And this time I'm really thinking of doing a blind jump. So we move 1, 2, then we jump into this space here. So you really have to clearly say where you will jump to. So this one here. Are we landing on the circle? And then we draw the next card, and we are lucky as this is a planet and it's Kempler 2. That's now good and bad, to be honest. So for once we have moved here, so that's, I think we were here 1, 2, 3. We still have some more movement points left, but I'm thinking of not going any farther, because as soon as Kempler 2 shows up, we will have the Enforcer be going after us, because we do have a bounty. So I think we still have 2 more movement points left. Okay, let's move. No, 1, 2, 3. We have still 3 more. So 4 and 5. And I think this time I will discard or jettison my mission here, because I'm moving on to a new mission spot here, and so I will draw a new mission. I was really hoping for the planet, but it didn't show up, so I think I will go for a better mission for this player here. But before we move on, we have a look at the Enforcer card, and the Enforcer said, when Kempler 2 is discovered, place the Enforcer on it. The planet is big, but we are playing it that way that we will put him directly at the entrance of the planet, because he will start to patrolling the universe basically and looking for outlaw ships. So we will place the Enforcer here, but he will be controlled after the Swamp Rat has taken his turn. So I think for now the player is pretty much safe. But of course we still have to place an exploration token on it, and we will have to create a demand, and this is this light blue resource, and I think this is plasma, a liquid gaseous energy. Plasma is one of the elements required to make FTL drives function faster than light. Plasma is found throughout the galaxy and lacks any special properties. However, because of the incredibly large market, plasma is always in demand. And this is pretty cool, because you can buy basically anything here at the smuggler stand, and he still has some more activations left. At least he has 1 last activation for his engine. So why not using his disruptive fields? Yeah, let's do that. And this time I will play it completely right. So as an action, spend 2 energy and roll the d20. So I will spend 1, 2 energy, then I will roll the d20. That's a 10, and on a roll of 9 to 19, you may pass through planetary shield border 1 time this turn with no consequences. Isn't that awesome? So we will the M22 engine 1 last time. We roll the movement die. That's a 3. That's more than enough to move where I want to end up. So that's 1, 2. And I can pass through planetary shield without any consequences. And here I can buy 2 for 1,000 credits. And of course I will go for the plasma. So I will pay 1,000 credits and would be able to gain 2 plasma cubes. So this time we can go to the business phase, and yeah, I think we will do that. So we will definitely only recharge our machinery here. We will fill up our engine and use the impulse drive. One last thing to do is to use or activate the merchant, and still the merchant wants to reach Doravin 5 here. So he has to move through this asteroid field, so he will move 8 spaces, so he will jump in here. Of course he also has to roll for the destruction or for damage. So if he's lucky, he rolls an 11 or more. That's an 11. Wow, he's really awesome. So he still has 7 more movement points to go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Unfortunately, he didn't reach the cell spot here. But this was definitely good for the Easy Tiger, as he more or less prepared the damage, and maybe during the next turn he might be able to plow him into pieces. And I just figured out I forgot to draw the mission, which is why I waived the shuttle mission for the Ghost Stalker, so I will do that now. So in this case we have a good smuggling mission, but Red Gulch is not yet discovered. Azure is basically the same, but here we have the research mission for the Tigris Gate, and we can deliver the data to Krella 4. Both are already in place, both are reachable for the outlaw player, which the Ghost Stalker currently is, so I think I will go with the research mission for now. Let's move over to the Swamp Rat again. We will use the impulse drive that will allow him to move up to 3 spaces. So 1, 2 and 3, which is more than enough to reach the cell space, and he will of course sell his 4 Terra cubes, so he completely wiped out his hold of cargo. So this means an additional fame point by the end of the round, and of course for each cube he gets 1,000 credits, so he's now pretty rich, but unfortunately not rich enough to get himself a better ship, which would give him an additional fame point this round. So I think we have to draw a new demand token here, and I think unlike Merchant and Marauders I would still allow it to be the same resource, but in this case it's again spice. So we have now 3 spice demands in the galaxy here. So this is really a bad thing for the merchant player. And no, it's not. Oh, I'm wrong. So this is basically pretty good, because here down in Kempler 2 you are allowed to buy spice basically. I think that's definitely good. So we will stick to the rule, because there was some very cool comment from Marco, one of my buddies on YouTube, who said okay, he's also not really fond of the original idea of how this trade system works here, but he was also saying maybe the penalty for a merchant player would be too high, and maybe go for 2 cubes instead of only 1, which might be also a good idea. But I think I will wait for a decision after this playthrough here. So for now I will just keep drawing 1 resource per cell space on a planet. But of course we also have to get there first, so this is definitely pretty far away. So I think this is really something we have to keep in mind, and maybe we should really have the Swamp Rat explore this sector so that he can go through this space, and maybe we are lucky and find a gate here, which would also be a pretty cool thing. So we will activate our M22 engine, and we'll roll the movement die. That's a 1, that's a 3, a little bit better. We will move over the mission spot, so that's 1, 2 and 3, and then we will draw the mission for the Swamp Rat. And these are really 3 missions that are not good for the Swamp Rat. So we have a bounty hunter mission, which could be a cool thing, but not with his ship at this point in time. There's no weapon, and I don't want to really start doing that. And here are some assassin and smuggler missions, and right now I want to stay him, or have to have him legit right now. So I think, yeah, let's discard all of those missions and just move on and maybe fly to the next mission spot. So we will activate the drive again. Again, we will roll the die. That's a 6. Okay, we leave it as a 6, and then we would move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And let's do that one last time and rearm that. And so we roll it again. It's a 3 or a 2. That's not good. And I'm thinking of maybe we could really move it. No, we can maybe not. Let's move him here. So we take the 3, 1, 2, and 3. We move to Neo Damascus, so we might be able to restock our energy and everything like that, and we would be able to draw a new mission here, which we will do now. And still, luck isn't on our side, so we have another smuggler mission, a bounty hunter mission, and another shuttle mission at the Expedia Gate. Oh yeah, I see it, the Expedia Gate is there, that's pretty cool. And then we have to bring him to Azure, but still, I think that's okay, we might be really able to find Azure down there somewhere, so I think that's definitely not a bad thing. So we come to the business phase, so recharge our energy, flip this, and rearm all our markers, and then during the next turn we might be really able to do some cool stuff, or at least start our mission. Cool. And before we forget it, he more or less gets 1 fame point because he completely sold his hold in this turn, which means he gains a fame point for being a trader, so he's now also an asteroid worm. Nice. Before we move on, we have to activate the Enforcer. The Enforcer will acquire a target. First of all, he will go for any target that attacked him before, then he would go for an outlaw ship, which is 1 sector away, and if there's a tie, we will break that by d20, and if no ship is in range, he will just move to the most distant lawful planet. But when we check the board, this guy is basically 1 sector away, but fortunately he is protected by the planetary shield, so he will move now 6 spaces, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So he will stay 2 spaces away. He cannot fire his missiles because he's protected, but he can prepare the attack for the next round possibly. The Easy Tiger is not in a very good shape. He's very low on energy and only 2 armed markers, so I think he won't be able to take out the merchant here at Doravin 4, but he can fly in that direction and maybe refuel and then try to go after him. I think this is something that he will do. So first of all, we will use the impulse drive. So that's 1. Here we have to roll for destruction. Again on the 11 to 20, he's fine. That's a 9. So I think he will use now his special ability, the Tag Axe card, to reroll that die here. He's really not lucky. That's a 5, but a 5 is way better than a 9, so he can now do nothing, as I see. I really thought he would have a shield, but he cannot use a shield. So yeah, I think he has to take now 5 damages. Okay, this is really a lot, so let's see where we would put those. Of course, we will start here. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1 last. I think we will do that on another blaster here, so to keep the main engine intact. Still has 2 more movement points left, 1 and 2. Then we will activate main engine the first time, so we would roll his die. That's a 1 and a 6, that's way better. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He cannot move in there because this space is occupied, so we have to activate the engine again, and then yeah, let's roll the die and see where we are. That's a 1, that's a 4. That's way better, and I think we will move 1, 2, 3 spaces here on the mission spot as well. And these are the 3 missions that the Easy Tiger just drew. Here we have a smuggler mission. I think I don't want to do that. Maybe I'll really go for this bounty hunter. Maybe when the scoundrel will show up anytime soon, we might take him down with our blasters. Yeah, let's go for the bounty hunter mission. And as we are on a planet, we can go to the business phase. 2 things will happen now. For once, we will repair our entire ship for 1,000 credits, so we can remove those damage tokens. I think the tier 3 ships cost 2,000 to repair. And the last thing to do is we will recharge our energy. We will get our armed tokens back. And then we might be really able to take out the merchant in the next turn. First thing to do, the Ghost Stalker will activate his disruptor field, 1-2 energy, and then we will roll for the result. So we are hoping for ideally a 20, but that's only a 9, but a 9 is enough to sneak through a planetary, oops, can you see that? A planetary shield at least once. Yeah, I think the second roll, that's pity. Yeah, but we have to live with the result. Okay, let me think about this. We must, or we don't have to move through this planetary shield. We can move through the entrance and maybe find our way through here and then move through this planetary shield. I think that's the better decision. So we will activate the main engine one more time, or one first time this round. So we would roll the d6. That's a 3. That's 2. Okay, so we have to take the 3, I guess. So that's 1, 2, and 3. We will do that again. Activate our main engine. We could really take them damage this turn. Okay, let's roll again. That's 2. That's a 6. That's way better. So 1, 2, 3, 4. He would have to roll for any possible damage. I still have 2 more movements left. I will make note on this die here. So let's roll. That's a 5. We take a hit. 5 hits. So I think we definitely have to use our shield now. And I think I will only use 1 shield. So let's activate a shield now. And really hope for a 5+. That's a 2. So he takes 3 damage. Wow, that's tough. Yeah, but we have to live with that. So I think we can deal with that. So that's 1, 2, and 3. I think we don't need our shields in this round. We still have 1, 2 movement points left, and I think then we can activate the impulse drive. No, we are still allowed to pass through 1 planetary shield this round. So that's 1, 2, and 3. So we directly land on our sell spot here. So we will sell our plasma. The plasma will give us 2,000 bucks, and we completely emptied our hole, which means we would gain an additional fame point by the end of this round, which is awesome. And I'm really thinking of activating our main engine again, because there is still 1 exploration token left on this planet, which is nice. So let's do that. So we will activate the main drive, and then we would roll for movement. That's a 1 and a 2. This is just enough to move 1, 2 spaces here to this track, and this is unfortunately an X. Really a pity. In the business phase, we will repair our ship. That's definitely important, because the Enforcer will definitely go after us. We will get our energy back. All our systems are armed again. Oops, that was the wrong one. And so I think the last thing to do would be to give the Ghost Stalker an additional fame point, and we will have our first title card coming out. So let's see what we get. And this is the Insurgent. Start the revolution. Just recalling my little coin learning exercise. Okay, to claim this title, be the first player to destroy the Enforcer. Once the title claimed, this title grants the Enforcer cannot target you for the remainder of the game, and you gain 2 fame points for that. Well, this would be a very cool thing for the Easy Tiger. Okay, but it's definitely not an easy title to claim, so we will put it aside for now. And then we will move the Merchant to the sell spot on Doravin 5. I keep on saying Doravin 4, sometimes Doravin 5. I really do apologize for that. But the good thing is, and this is definitely good for the Easy Tiger, the Merchant just got his first 1,000 credits. And of course, we will draw a new demand. And here we have another Holo Cube. And Holo can be found here at the Burning Horse Nebula, but of course you could also go to the Smuggler stand. Oh, this is now really, the Smuggler stand, because you can buy anything basically. For the Outlaw ship, that's perfect, but of course in order to get here you have to sneak in anytime. So it's not definitely that easy even for the Outlaw player. Again, those were 2 turns of Sire, and I really hope you enjoyed it. I hope you will join me again for my next playthrough episode number 3. Right now I only see or have some hopes for the green player, and maybe also the blue player, and maybe we might see some victory points for the red player as well when he take out the merchant. Hope to see you soon in one of my next playthroughs or videos, and until then, bye bye!